y'all, welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie and welcome to my weekly WIP Chat. If you are not familiar with what a WIP Chat is, that is a work in progress. I am going to be working on my layers of Ocean Magic by Mermaid's Cove, and this is a calming canvas design. I worked on this last week with you guys as well. I haven't gotten very far with it just because I've been working on other projects, but I also have purchased some bling for this, and I am waiting on that to come in, so I don't want to get very far on it either. I am using a tray that I absolutely love. The company is no longer selling. It was on Etsy, but I love this tray. And then also I am going to be using my pen. This pen is from an Abler's Outpost, and I am using glue dots in my single placer. In my multi-placer, I am trying something different. I have a Faber-Castell tacket that I have found in my stash, and I thought, you know, why not? Why not try this? It's putty, so I am going to use this. I've been using it for a couple of days. I do like it, but I've had to refill it more than what I normally would. So I'm not sure, but you know, we'll see. It's in my stash. I haven't used very much of it. I am probably going to have to change my glue dot really quickly. Let me get that in. And of course I do this every time on a WIP Chat. I change my glue dot and then I'm fighting it for the first half of the WIP Chat, but that's okay. If you would like, grab something to work on or just relax. I will be working on this gorgeous painting for up to an hour. I usually don't go over an hour. Don't know if I'll make an hour. I never know until after I'm done. But you can also just relax and listen while I work and while I chat. I do have a larger section here, but usually I don't have this large of a section open. But I thought, you know, it might be a good idea since this does have quite a bit of confetti. If you are not familiar with that term, that's where you have a lot of colors in a small area and the colors are different. Now some of this does have some color blocking, which is very nice. That did pretty good. I just replaced this too. And I tell you what, my dog and cat are both shedding so bad. I guess they're starting to shed their winter coat, and I'm having to really be careful. I always keep my paintings covered up. They don't get close to them, but it doesn't matter because the hair always gets all over me. Let's see. That actually did pretty good on the multi-placing. This is a round. I love Calming Canvases squares. This was the first one that I had gotten from them. I've already completed one square, and then I have bought a couple of more paintings from them that I haven't unboxed yet. I'm waiting on unboxing for a while because I have too many that I already have kitted up, and if I start to unbox then I'll want to kit it up, and I'm trying to do better. How are you guys doing? I hope that you've had a great start to your week. Happy Tuesday. which sounds kind of weird. I hope you guys are having a great start to your week and you had a fabulous weekend. Let me know how you guys are doing and what you guys are working on. Are you planning on participating in any events in May? It's hard to believe that it's May. I keep thinking it's still April. Like time is going by way too fast. This was probably a crazy thing to have a brand new glue dot and to load my multi-placer. That's actually doing pretty good. Kind of pleased with that, and it does have a really good pop to it. I am not going to participate in any events in May except for the Josephine Wall because I am co-hosting and I'm also wrapping up that project, so I'm really excited about that I will have a finish. That one has been lingering, hanging around for a year now, so I am very, very close. I would like to get it finished. I don't think it will be this week, but possibly next week, because I am spending quite a bit of time, since I have a little bit of extra time the next couple of weeks, on my dragon seasons, because that is huge. I want to finish it in 7 months or less, if at all possible. And that means I have to get 2 rather large rows completed a week. And it's fun. I'm enjoying it. But I don't want to get tired of it. And then I am working on this one, of course, wrapping up my canvas that I'm keeping upstairs when my husband and I watch TV. That one's an Oraloa. That should be done very soon. I'm very, very close to that one also. And then once I finish my Josephine Wall, that one's a square. I only have rounds that I'm working on. Now I do have some squares that are in my WIP rotation from last year. And if I really start to get burnt out on doing rounds, I can always get one of those out, which is what I plan on doing. But I don't want to have too many that I'm working on at one time, if I can possibly help it. We'll see. I would love to get some of those knocked out this year, but plans change. Last week was a rather quiet week in terms of us really doing anything, but it was a busy week in terms of work. May is always busy with work. My husband's birthday was last Wednesday, so we had a nice dinner at home. And it was also my cat Salem's birthday, and she is now 9, which is really hard to believe. We've had her since she was approximately 3 weeks old. She was a stray, and she has been the best cat, but she is so sassy. So she got a few extra treats for her birthday. My daughter Paige wanted to get Salem another cat tree. I'm like, she has one. I don't want to get another one quite yet, although it would be nice to have one to put in front of our dining room, in front of those windows, because those windows are rather large, and hers is in our family room, but I want to wait on that a little bit. She doesn't play with toys. She does not like catnip. She actually growls like a dog when we get catnip, which I thought was very odd. I thought all cats like catnip, but She's my first cat, so I am still learning things about cats. But yeah, she does not like catnip, but she did get some extra treats for her birthday. Of course, because it was the cat's birthday, she got extra treats. We had to give Molly an extra bone because we always think that wouldn't be fair. And normally in the spring we have birds nest that are usually either in my hanging baskets on my front porch, or they are on our front porch light. This year we've only had one nest. It is in our gazebo in the front yard, so it's far away from our front door. We don't have to worry about that. But I was cleaning out the bird bath one day last week, and I guess it was on Friday. And I went and turned the water on, all was good. And then when I went to turn the water off, the spigot, I felt something staring at me. I was kind of scared to look down. So I looked in the bushes, and these beady eyes were staring at me. And we have a stray cat that has been wandering around here for a while. The neighborhood, not just our house. We haven't fed it or anything. Somebody in the neighborhood is feeding it, because you can tell that cat looks rather healthy. There's not a collar or anything on it. And apparently this cat had kittens, a litter of kittens in our bushes. I counted five kittens, and they're really pretty. I have to say, for her to be a stray, these cats are really pretty. Our cat is black, all black, and there were two or three kittens that were black with white feet. One had white feet, like it was wearing socks, and then the other one was black with some brown mixed in. But the one that had the feet that looked like she or he was wearing socks, that one had the most gorgeous blue eyes. And so I told my husband, I said, if Salem wasn't such a diva, I would take in one of the kittens that was black with the white feet and had the blue eyes. I think only one has the blue eyes. I'm not getting close to it. I'm not touching it because I don't want the mama cat to come after us or to do something to her babies, because it has our scent on it. So we're not touching them. And then I was going to call, there's a pet rescue that I was going to contact, and I thought I'm going to have to wait because they're not going to be able to get this mother cat, and these kittens still need their mom. So I thought in the next week or two, I will go ahead, if they're still here, I will go ahead and call, because I don't see how they're going to be able to get her. So now we've been looking for the past couple of days, and I thought, well, I guess she's moved the kittens. They're not underneath our porch anymore. They are not hiding in the bushes, and I don't hear them. Well, then my husband went to clean our bird bath last night and to put some more water in it, and when he did, he said he saw the cats. She has moved them under the gazebo. There's no way we can get under there and get them. I don't even know how the pet rescue would be able to, but I'm sure they have ways, and I'm going to have to call them. I was hoping they would be gone so I wouldn't feel guilty calling, and I'm not going to take in one of these kittens. I would love to, but I just am worried about Salem. With it being a kitten, she may be okay, but she may not be. She tolerates Molly, our dog. Sometimes they'll get close together, they will sniff at each other, and then she just backs up. And then other times she just will hiss at her. And she was okay with Zoe, but Zoe was much smaller. She wasn't as active as Molly. So I just don't know about a kitten. So I don't think that would be a good idea. I'm afraid she would hurt the kitten. We really don't need any more animals right now because we're not sure, when and if we're going to have to move because of my husband's job. And I really don't want to have to worry about other animals. We have two is enough right now. So that was kind of our exciting week. Paige keeps wanting to go out and look at the kittens, and I told her that, I think they're gone. And so then my husband told her last night, no, but you need to stay away from them because the mama cat, with her being a stray, she may be feral. We don't know. I'm sure by now that she is, and especially protecting her litter. I don't think that would be a very good idea. So that was about the most exciting thing that happened in our week. We did start going for walks again. We took Molly for a walk around the neighborhood. She loved it. Trying to get some of this off. I think I have too much of this putty on here. Molly seemed to really enjoy her walk. We couldn't walk as much with Zoe because Zoe couldn't go very far, but we've gone further with Molly, and she has really seemed to enjoy her walks. I keep hitting my button on my light pad. This is a new light pad. It just came in a couple of weeks ago, and I keep hitting the switch. I need to probably move it around to the other side so I'm not hitting it as much. I am trying to see if there's any more. I'm trying to stay in this one little area here and see about these E's. And Molly's outside barking at squirrels, so I'm hoping that you guys can't hear her. She stayed outside for like 2.5 hours yesterday, and she did not. Paige and I were having to go to the store. My husband was out running some errands, and she did not want to come in. Paige had to force her to come in, and I was telling my husband, and he said, well, you should have just left her out there. But I told him, I said, we were going to the store. We could have been gone, up to an hour or so, and I don't feel really comfortable leaving her outside. She can't get back in if she needed to, and I just don't feel comfortable with that. We thought about getting a doggy door for her. We have a cat door. When we had a porch, screened-in porch at our last house, and we're not against getting a doggy door, but the problem is Molly is a big dog, so we would have to get a door that a child would be able to go in, which of course we could lock the door when we weren't home, but that kind of defeats the purpose of a dog door. And I don't think anybody around here would even notice. It is in our backyard, which is fenced in, but you never know. So I don't feel real comfortable with that. We have talked about it though. We may end up going ahead and doing it. And just remembering, if we leave, we're just going to have to lock it and she'll have to stay in. But that way, when she decides she wants to come downstairs into the basement, and she wants to go out, she usually just goes to the basement door and starts barking. If we're upstairs, sometimes we don't hear her. Trying to get this there, that looks a little better. We didn't do a lot, as I said, but we were very busy. Paige was doing some things in her room. She's going through her bookshelf, rearranging her books. She loves books and she likes to keep them. And she has 2 bookshelves that she has full of books. And so now she is telling me that she needs to get another bookshelf. I'm like, well, you only have so much room, but I'm going to probably go to IKEA this summer, I may get her different bookshelves that are larger, and so that way she'll have plenty of room. Her dad took her on Sunday out to lunch and to the bookstore. She got a huge bag of books that he bought for her, and she had to show me all of her books when she got home. They were gone for a while. And then I went and got my hair cut. It is really weird, but where I go to get my hair cut, at least in the US anyway, most salons are closed on Sundays and a lot of them are closed on Mondays. That's their weekend. Well, of course, the salon that I go to, they are closed on Saturdays and they're open on Sunday. And so I find that to be kind of odd. But I don't like going on Sundays. They are open on Mondays. And so I usually go on Mondays, but now my stylist is not working on Mondays for now. She's thinking about going back to her Monday schedule. And so now I'm having to get a Sunday appointment because during the week is just it's not going to work because of me working, and she gets off at 5. So it's been a little challenging to try to get my hair cut, but I finally got it cut. It was getting too long. I wear my hair really short. And when it starts to get long, it starts to bug me. I am looking for a particular color. Here it is. And I really needed to get it colored some. I just get partial highlights. So I spent my afternoon on Sunday at the salon while she was with her dad with lunch and getting her some books. And then Dave was working on a project that he's doing outside. And we did pick up dinner. We did go and have Mexican on Saturday night. And I told my husband when he said you want to go for Mexican, he was telling me during the weekend, I said, you do realize that the weekend is Cinco de Mayo. And so he said, we can just leave really early, earlier, and we'll go. We shouldn't have a problem getting an outdoor table. So we did that. We got there at 5:20 on Saturday, early evening, and they already had a 25-30 minute wait. But then I was looking around and I'm like, they have all these empty tables. They must be really short-handed because they only had one table that was outside that they had seated. They had another table that they had not cleaned up yet, and when we left, that table still hadn't been cleaned up. And when we left, they had a line outside. So they were really busy, but apparently they were just really short-handed. But it's really hard around here to find help. Nobody wants to work, or if they do, they don't want to work in a restaurant when they can get paid higher somewhere else. And even with businesses, I have friends that are looking for good help and they can't find anybody that even wants to apply because everyone wants to work from home. They want to work remote, and a lot of places don't have that option. So people are holding out because they want to work from home, and a lot of businesses are suffering, including, restaurants and retail especially. But we were able to get out of there fairly early, and I didn't think that the service would be very good because they were so behind. But the service actually wasn't bad. And the food was really good. We had some leftovers, and I will probably have my leftovers today for lunch. I am in between semesters, but that's when we get really busy. In May, we have a lot of meetings that are starting to prepare us for not only the summer semester, but also getting ready for the fall semester. So we've had a couple of meetings. We did have a meeting last week at one of our new campuses, and this was quite interesting because the campus is going to be, it's close to a small private airport, and it is going to cover a lot of airports, different maintenance types, and learning how to do the upholstery for planes, small aircrafts. And that was really interesting because our meeting was out in the hangar, and I thought it's going to be really hot because it was in the 80s that day, but they had these huge fans, and the fans are actually called big ass fans, and I was a little chilly, and we were outside, but we were in the hangar. It was nice, and they just showed us some different things about the plane. We now have a couple of planes that my university owns, so that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. It was a long way out there, though. It took me a while to get there. It was kind of out in the boondocks. They're very rural, and I wondered several times, am I going the right way? I hope my GPS is taking me to the right location. But it was a really nice campus. They put a lot of thought into the campus. They even had like a little wellness area if you needed to take a break, stress room. Well, this is really cool, all the things. And my campus is older, it sure doesn't have that. But I am getting ready for our summer term. And I'll be teaching 4 classes, possibly 5. The summer term goes by really fast, and it makes my summer kind of, I don't want to say boring, but we don't really go anywhere in the summer because I'm working, but I work year-round. I don't have a 9-month contract. My contract is for 12 months, so I do work all terms, which is fine. I do get to take vacation, but I can't take a full week in the summer. But we do have time in between terms this year. Well, we have a week that's right in the middle of our summer term because we're starting summer a little bit earlier than normal. And I don't think they're going to keep doing that. They're doing this as a testing for this year. Since they've already put the dates out there, students have already enrolled, they can't change it. But I think even our higher admin, I think they're even looking at it, and I don't think they're going to like it. There's also been some issues with the dates and different things. So hopefully they will change it back where we will have a full month in between terms. We will not have a break right in the middle of our summer term, and then we'll have a little bit of time in between the summer and the fall term, which would be really nice. And it's really hard to schedule my classes the due dates and everything, when you have right smack in the middle of your summer term, you have a week off. During that week, students are not required to do any homework, so you can't have any due dates. And that would be kind of silly, because what's the point in having a break if you're not really having a break if you're having to do homework? So that's just kind of different, and I'm just going to have to get used to that for this term. But I do have a little bit of time before class starts. Next week I have new student orientation, so I will be on campus all day. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing. Probably just helping with directions and different things, because we're not going to be going over any of our curriculum or anything like that. They're just showing new students around the campus. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few high school students. We do allow high school students to take classes as long as their high school approves, they have good grades. They're able to, but they can't take online. It has to be in the class, and so they can come into class instead of going on their campus. So that has been an adjustment that we have had to make, and it's actually been pretty good. Now I'm trying to see. Right now I need a 2. I have this in DMC order. I thought, I'm going to try it in DMC order this time. I have to say I don't like it, because I can't find anything. If I work on this more, then I should be okay, but like right now, I don't know where any of my symbols are, and I'm having to hunt around and try to find them and still make sure that I'm in frame. This is going to be a gorgeous painting when I am done. It's going to take a while, but that's okay. Let's see, where's another 3? I did a mini WIP Chat on Saturday, last Saturday. So if you have not seen that, check that one out. That goes over my goals for the year, what I've accomplished in April. I was able to have one finish, which is good. For me, it's good. I know a lot of people have several finishes, and I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that, but I am happy with the progress that I am doing. It may not be much, but I am moving forward, and that is progress, right? I do have my retreat coming up that I'm going to be going to for the 2nd year in a row, and that's the Great Lakes retreat. I have not decided which canvas I'm going to take yet. It's not going to be any of the ones I'm currently working on, and that is because they're just too big. They're not too big for me to work on there, but they're too big for me to have to travel with. So I'm probably going to have to kit up a smaller kit. I don't have a small kit that's already kitted up. Small, just so that it would easily fit in my suitcase. I could roll this one up to fit, but it's still going to take up some space, so I don't want to do that. I need room for everything that I bring back. And I didn't get a lot done last year, to be honest, when I went on the retreat. The first day or so, I was just kind of getting into the groove of things, you know, meeting new people and just talking, and I just really wasn't focused on diamond painting as much. And then the next day I started diamond painting more, but I still didn't get a lot done. And that was okay. I didn't really expect to, so I don't see a point in taking a huge canvas. The only reason why I want to take a larger canvas is because I would like to continue working on one that I've already started on. But I I don't want to take up so much space, because I remember last year I had such a hard time getting everything back home, and I thought, nah, I need to really watch what I'm taking. Bad thing about this one is that I am changing colors so much, which is fine. Let's see, what color do I want now? How about a question mark or a phone? I do like all the symbols in this one. They're easy to read. They make sense. And the canvas, I don't really even have to use a light pad for this, but I prefer to, just so I don't strain my eyes. We do have an optometrist appointment coming up, Paige and I. I really hope she does not change my prescription. I have a feeling that it's going to get changed, and maybe not, but I do have a feeling that it will, which means I'll have to buy new glasses. And I've had these frames and these glasses for a long time, so I'd have to get new frames too. Which would make sense because I only have one pair of glasses, and if I give them these to use the same frames, then that's going to be a problem because I won't have any glasses to use. Okay, now let's go for a question mark. There we go. Oh, this one's an AB. That's okay. I think that'll be fine. I've gotten my craft room straightened up. I've gotten quite a bit that I'm going to sell, stamp-wise, and some other things. Uh-oh, I just lost my glue dot. That's weird, because it's an AB. Let's see, I may have to get my other pen out, or my pretty placer, for these ABs. Unless I do it really lightly, I might be able to. I am a very heavy-handed diamond painter. When I write very heavy. Are you guys a very light-handed diamond painter, or are you a heavy-handed? Trying to kind of concentrate a little bit on this one as I'm putting in these ABs that actually work pretty good. I think that's why I have to change out my glue dots more and even my putty a little bit more, because I am a very heavy placer. And I try to go very light. I have not broken any tips, which I probably shouldn't say that because the next thing I'll be breaking tips. Let's go for a lowercase a. Yeah, I've been okay with my tips, but I do tend to wear them down just because of such a heavy hand. Right, lowercase a. Here's my lowercase a. All right, let's do here. Paige is having to work today. Normally she works on Tuesdays, but she's having to work today instead. So I'll have to take her to work in a little bit. And then when I get back, I'm going to straighten up the house some and do a little bit of cleaning, and then I'm going to diamond paint a little bit after I pick her up. My craft room is nice and tidy and clean, which doesn't last that often. I'll be working on cards on Wednesday night, and so they'll be junked up again, or my table will anyway. I can make the biggest messes just making simple cards. And it's only for a couple of hours, and I don't know how I do it, but I manage to make a mess, and then I don't go and clean it up. I'll make more cards, and then it just gets on piled high. But I've tried to do better to where I clean up after. By the time that we finish, which is around 8:30, it's like I am tired. I've been working all day, been making cards now. I usually go to bed about 9 o'clock on a weekday. And so I don't go back through and clean. I would wish I did that, but I don't. I am hoping to work on the kids. I shouldn't say my kids, they're now adults, but that will be their kids' albums when they were smaller, that is. They don't have children. It's something that's been on my list for a long time, and I told my husband, I've lost my iPad again. I told my husband that if we do move, or when we are going to eventually, I want to have these albums in order. I don't want to move a bunch of albums, and a lot of them are duplicates. And I need to combine some pages. That is definitely on my plan for this summer. And I really need to work on a family album. That was my mom's, but every time I go to open that one, I close it. Can't do it yet. And my dad, that's just way too soon for me to work on any of those pages. And if I have any that I need to update, 'cause I know I'm missing some. I'm missing their high school years. I am planning on doing those digitally. Very simple program. And then I will have those printed out, and I'm going to put those in their albums. I am not going to be making any scrapbook pages. And I used to love to scrapbook. That was like my thing. And I had all kinds of different types of cardstock and pages and stickers and just different things. And then stickers kind of went to the wayside. Then I started using stamps, and then I just got tired of really trying to keep up and just gave up basically. And then I thought, well, maybe I can make some cards. And at first I didn't like cards because cards are so small. Like, I don't have much to work with here. And then I got to where I don't have much to work with here. This is perfect. And then I thought, as I was making all these cards, my family have a very small family, and I can only give so many cards so many times to my family. And so that's when I started giving my cards away to other organizations, and that has worked out very well for me. So because I'm doing that now, I have a reason to make cards. And I don't see me ever not making cards and doing something else. I think that I will make cards until I just can't craft anymore. And the same thing with diamond painting. That's not something that I'm going to just drop and not do. Especially as many diamond painting kits as I have. That would be really sad. I might, get to where I am having a burnout. And when I do that, then I just work on a small diamond painting or a sticker. One of my Disney stickers, and then I have a finish, and so I am happy with that. That was one of the questions, actually, that I had asked on my video that had the large canvas that I am working on, 235 centimeters. And I had asked you guys if you thought I should count it as 4 diamond paintings or just count it as 1. It's not I mean, it's one large diamond painting, but it's basically, you could even say that it could have been 4 separate because it's the 4 seasons. So I've been looking at that, asked you guys, and the majority of you agreed with me that you would count it as 4, count a finish at the end of each of the panels. And so I think that's what I'm going to do, because that will give me motivation to keep going. I am about halfway finished with the spring panel, and each time I finish one of the seasons, I will pop that in and show you guys. It is turning out super, super cute. I am very pleased with it. I have almost one dragon. I am putting some posts out there on Instagram, so if you are not on my Instagram, you might want to consider doing so. I can also put it underneath community tab as well, underneath my YouTube channel. All right, what else now? I need a dollar sign. There are some areas on this that will have some color blocking. I just happen to be in one of those sections that doesn't right now. But this is turning out so pretty that I am not even upset I'm having to change colors. But I like doing confetti canvases. I don't even mind really heavy confetti. I do get tired of it after a while, and so I just take a break and do something else. But it turns out so pretty. Of course, not every canvas is going to need to have so much confetti, and the ones that don't and they just throw it in there, it doesn't look right, I don't think, and it's kind of a waste of time because it doesn't add anything to it, in my opinion. Let's see, we still have 1 month to go on the Josephine wall, as I mentioned earlier, but there are so many gorgeous canvases that I am seeing, and I did not realize on some of them that they had them. I think there are some that's from the one with the diamond art, because they have so many that I just haven't seen yet, where we have somebody working on them. And this past week was Josephine Wall's birthday. And that was really cool. Kathy, who is one of the owners of the one with the diamond art, posted underneath our J wall that it was her birthday. And so I went to the official J wall posting, wished her happy birthday there, and then also sent a private message from Instagram, and she actually responded. She's pretty good about responding on messages. I thought that was really cool. And she said that she had a very nice day. They had a picnic with family and friends. So that sounds really nice. So their weather must be pretty good. She's in the UK. And thinking of weather, it is absolutely crazy here. We have had really nice weather. It has been in the upper 70s, but it has been a nice breeze. It has just been such a nice couple of weeks. And we actually turned our air on one day because it was getting warm upstairs mainly. Downstairs was not, but upstairs was still a little cool. We like to keep the upstairs cool, and it was a little warm for us upstairs to sleep, so we did turn the air on upstairs. But this middle of this week, it is going to go back down into the 50s. It is going to be raining almost the entire rest of the week from like Wednesday on. The weekend's going to be raining and cold, and the lows are going to be in the 40s, and highs one day is like 55. I'm like, in May, really? And we've pretty much put our sweatpants up and hoodies and things like that. So now we're going to have to get them out. We've put up our winter comforter that we have on our bed, as well as Paige's winter comforter on her bed. And now we may have to get them back out. And my husband said, you know, be kind of cool to build a fire in May. He loves to build a really good fire. We have the best fireplace. It's not one of the ones that's just an insert. It's an actual built-in fireplace. And he loves to build fires. So we may build a fire this upcoming weekend in May. That would definitely be something to journal about. And we do have a little bit of firewood left. We're going to have to buy some more next year. We used quite a bit this year, but it might be kind of cool to have a fire in May. And then we're the only ones around here that even builds a fire. Most of them have gas fireplaces, and my husband said he'd rather not have a fireplace if he's going to have, you know, gas logs. He does not want gas logs. He wants the real thing. We have been looking at some houses in the mountains in a certain area that we really are interested in. And a lot of the homes have gas logs. And I'm like, I don't understand that. And some of the homes don't even have fireplaces. I'm like, this is in the mountains. Why don't they have fireplaces? And my husband said they could have an ordinance where you can't have a wood-burning fireplace. You can have maybe a wood-burning stove. I have seen wood-burning stoves where they've taken a fireplace out, put a wood-burning stove in. I'm like, that's not what I want. And we could do a, you know, they do have fire pits, but I'm like, you know, I don't want a fire pit. I don't want to sit outside in December around a fire pit. I want to be in the house watching a movie with a nice fire. So we've got to check that out too. Let's see, now what am I doing? I need to do a sideways G is what I like to call it. Do you guys have names for symbols? Like certain symbols, you don't really know what it is, but it looks like something to you, so you just make it into whatever you think it is. I've done that with my diamond painting Deutschland especially, because a lot of those I'm like, what in the world is this? And so I have some really funny ones that I call them. And some I probably shouldn't say on the channel, so nothing bad, but it's just kind of funny. This one's just, to me, it's a sideways G. Or it could be like a little curly Q. There's some more over here. There's another one. And then some of them, I have no idea what they are. These all make sense, but some of the ones, especially if you have, you know, 200 plus on your colors, they have to get creative. I do get that. All right, let me see another color. Let's go with trying to stay in this general area. If I would branch out a little bit here, then I wouldn't be changing colors so much. But I want to stay in a section where I hope you guys can see it if you are looking. It's always hard for me to tell because my filming arm is above me. So if I barely move the canvas, then it gets off out of the view and I don't know it until it's too late. And you can't, that's one thing you can't exactly edit. I just scooted that one over. There we go. I think now Molly is barking at a tree. I don't see a squirrel out there, but who knows. In the afternoon, she just sits very quietly outside. But in the mornings, it's like she goes crazy. And I like to film in the mornings. It just works out better for me. I like to have my coffee and I like to just be ready to go early mornings on my filming. And sometimes Molly does not want to cooperate. I should probably take her on a walk before I start to film, and then she might be worn out, because when I take her for a walk, she does come back home and she goes to bed. Right, let's see. I need a 2. Where is a 2? And I have this in 2 containers, so I'm having to also check that. Definitely not a fan of doing this by DMC. But I thought, let's try something different. I think I'm going back to my symbols. Or by color. You could even do by color, but a lot of these colors are very similar. I don't know if that would work for me either. Getting a few out of this one, some 2s. The bottom row has quite a bit of color blocking, so that will go fast. We really don't have anything else planned this summer. I'm still looking at flights to go to South Dakota. Madison calls me every couple of days. Have you made arrangements yet? I'm like, no, when I do, I promise I'll let you know. Make sure the date's okay. But the flight times are horrible. That's for starters. You either have to get in very, very early, which means I would have to leave my house extremely early. And I have to go through Atlanta with Atlanta traffic. That's just, oh, it'd be awful. I don't want to have to do that early. I don't even know if I could even get Paige to function that early to get her out of the house. And then driving and all of that. I don't know. And then the other flights are very late. And they're very expensive. So I'm not doing so hot on that front. Let's see, what color do I need now? That is could go with 3s, Fs. See, all of these are all different, all through this middle section here that I'm trying to stay with. Let me see. I have not been to South Dakota, and she may be moving before I'm able to get there next summer. We don't know yet when they're going to be moving. And next year she'll be here getting married, so I won't go then. And she really wants to show me around. She wants me to see their apartment, and she wants to show me where she works and just all around where they live. And I'd really like to, but the tickets are just outrageous too. If I find one that has a halfway decent time, and we still have to change planes, that's okay. I can deal with that. But some of the connecting flights, you have like 30 minutes to get to your gate. And I'm like, nope, that's not going to work, because with Paige, no. So, I don't know. I may just have to pay a crazy price. And even the flights that are later or earlier, even those flights are crazy expensive. I don't want to pay that much. It's just going to be a long weekend. It's not like I'm going to be gone for a very long time. Plus, we'll have to pay for hotel and food and everything. And I don't know. My husband's going to stay here and watch the animals. Because if not, then I have to pay for boarding, and that's going to cost a lot of money too. But I just can't get over how expensive that airfare has gotten. And I don't know why I keep waiting, because it's just going to go up. Gas prices here are absolutely ridiculous right now. And I don't want to pay what the airfare is now. I can just imagine that's going to get even higher. And Madison keeps telling me, well, you should go through Expedia. I do not want to do that. If I fly, I want to fly Delta. I want to be able to use my Sky Miles, or to be able to have some Sky Miles. If I can't use some of mine, at least I will be able to add to my Sky Miles. I might be able to have use my Sky Miles one way and then pay for the return flight. I've thought about that too. I don't like doing that, but I may not have a choice. Let's see. Now I think I can go with, that's getting filled in pretty good. I can go with £1. And there goes my light again. I need to get one of those coverings, but this one is flat, so I don't even know. I need to just move it away from my hands is what I need to do. All right, let's go with the triangle. And that one is right here. I'm starting to figure out where all of these are. Is anyone going to participate in Summer with the Masters this year? I usually do. I just don't know. I'm trying to see how many minutes we're in. Oh, we have plenty of time. Yeah, we have plenty of time. Normally, I am really looking forward to Summer with the Masters, but I just don't know this year if I'm going to, because I don't think I'm going to be ready to start on anything else. Although, I do have Summer by Muka from Diamond Painting Shop that is in my WIPs from last year. I've done a couple of rows on that one, and I thought about bringing that one out because that is one of my goals for this year, is to get my WIPs down from last year. And so I think if I decide to do that, then I'll go ahead and work on that one some more. The only thing is I don't want to have too many that I'm working on at one time. And I don't think this will be finished in time to bring that one out. So I don't know. And I can't remember if that one's a round or a square. I think it's a round. So it would go faster. And poof. Oh, God, it's so frustrating. And I do it all the time. As you guys, if you're looking on screen, you can see that I've hit this numerous times. Let's see. Another color, yay. Let me make sure how far over you guys can still see. Quite a bit over there. I can start working on this section here, and that way I won't have so many color changes, possibly. If I move my light pad, the only problem with that is I don't think it will reach to be able to plug it in. All right, let's go with hearts. Hearts. I do have a smaller diamond painting from Michael's that would work for Summer with the Masters. And I could do that one because it is smaller, but then that would be a new start. So, I don't know. And I have not done a painting from Michael's before. They were on sale, plus I had a coupon, so I got it for hardly nothing. And if that one is a square, I might consider doing that because I am going to get tired of working on rounds so much. I know I am. I'm going to have to add a square into my mix here. I eventually want to get to where I have one round, one square, and then have one in the background that I'm working on, a larger one, like a yearly type of canvas like I did with my J-wall. But that's going to take some time to get there because I've got to get through all of these WIPs. I didn't realize how many that I had. I went ahead and made a list this past weekend of the ones that I've started, and some I only done one or two squares on. I just wanted to see what the canvas was like because it was a new to me company at the time. So it's basically going to be a new start, even though I put just a few on, but not enough really to make a dent to where it wouldn't take very long. So I don't know yet. Not sure about Summer with the Masters. And I hate on that one not to participate because I have done two really nice canvases. The first one was, I was disappointed with the first one. It looks good if you step really far back from it, but I wasn't really happy with the outcome. And that was from a company that I only purchased one kit from. I don't think I'll purchase another one from them. And then I finished the moon. Finally got that one finished. Finished that one this year. And that was my last year's Summer with the Masters. I put it away for a while. That was another large one. But it had so much blue that I had to take a break from it. And I love blue. But it was a lot of blue. And it was a lot of repetition on her dress. And so I just kind of got tired of it. But that one's done now. And she turned out gorgeous. I actually have that one hanging up in my craft room. And that one is it's just really, really pretty. And I know that Summer is really pretty. I have seen that one completed, but I just don't know if I want to take time out to do that. But again, that would, if I got it finished, it would go towards my goals for this year. So that might be a win-win. Or it could be a flop. I'm probably going to have to stop and go and get Molly. Bring her in because she's really barking. We do have well, it was a neighbor, and we talked to him every now and then when we saw our neighbors walking. But they've owned a house in our area. It's about a mile away, but it's on the street that we have to go through. It's a back way to get to a main street. And they had 40 acres of land. They had a gorgeous house. And they also had a really nice pool and a lake. It was a little, I think it was a man-made lake. It was very small in front of their house, but it was very woodsy, gorgeous, gorgeous place. And they're a little bit older than us, maybe 5 years older or so, but they decided to retire. And that land, they have had people asking them for years about their land. And their house was huge. All their kids are grown. They want to move closer to their grandkids. And they did sell. They sold all 40 acres, including the house. It's a lot of just, a majority of it was woods, very woodsy. Oh, that's too small of a, I don't know what happened there. It's very woodsy, so they've started taking the trees down. And it's so sad because it made that whole area really nice to drive through. And they've taken all of the trees, so it's very bare now. And so I told my husband, I said, they're going to put townhomes on there, or they're going to have a subdivision. I guarantee you. And as soon as they closed on that land and the people moved out, they started just going in and just bulldozing trees. And so they're getting a lot of money off of that because those trees a lot of them were hardwoods. They're selling some to some furniture companies that's in North Carolina. And then also, and this isn't the neighbors, it's the ones that purchased the land, told them that's what they were going to do. And then some they're going to sell for firewood. So they've been doing that for the past month. Every time we go by there, we see more and more destruction. Well, Paige and I went by there last week, or this past week, and Paige said, "Mom, the house is gone." And you couldn't hardly see it through all the trees, but they've raised more trees. And so she said, half the house is gone. And I'm like, are you sure? And so there was nobody behind me. And so I slowed down on the way back and on the way back home. And so I looked and I'm like, wow, they have bulldozed the house. So they're not even going to keep that house. It was a gorgeous house. I mean, it was older. And of course, if they're going to put townhomes on there, they're not going to keep it. But at first I thought, well, they're going to keep the house and that's going to be like their community clubhouse kind of thing. And so, no, they've torn the house down. And now I think they're even going to tear the pool up. And the pool was super nice. I thought, well, if they would use, the pool, maybe it's just not in the right area where they want it. But now we're going to have either 40 acres of a new community or 40 acres of townhomes or, heaven forbid, apartments. And so I'm really dreading that. And they won't have a sign up for a while. We'll be able to tell soon what is going to be there. But it's just so sad. And then what's even crazier, when they bought that property 35 years ago, they spent less than $100,000 on the land for 40 acres. I think they said they spent like $50,000 on the land, and then they built their home. So they only had like maybe $200,000 in the property when they bought it. And then they, of course, added to their home over the years. They have, renovated, done some things, and then the pool and all. But we looked it up because you can go on, Zillow or any place like that, and it has the amount that the house sold for. That house sold for $6 million. And my husband's like, no wonder that they wanted to retire early and that they want to downsize, because they're set for retirement with that money. They wanted to heavily downsize, and they bought another house. It's a new house, and I think they have 2 or 3 acres. They said that's all they wanted, and they only spent like a little over $300,000, I think. So they are going to be set, and they're not going to have to pay any additional tax on that money, a gains tax or anything, because of the age of the house and the property. So I thought that is a cool deal for them, and I'm really happy for them, but I could not believe that it was worth that much for the land. And townhomes are going up around here like crazy. Townhomes and 0 lot lines. And for me, I can see why people would be drawn to something like that, but I don't want to be on top of my neighbors. I mean, again, that's just me. I don't think I could live in a townhouse or a condo for that reason. I want to have somewhat of a backyard. I want to have room for Molly to run. She needs a lot of space. She would not be happy. And even if we didn't have a large dog that needed to run, I just don't want to be on top of my neighbors. We are close enough to one side, our next door neighbors. There's not much that separates us from them. And we don't have a privacy fence here. We have a chain link fence. First time I've ever had a chain link fence, and I won't have another one. I don't like it. There's just no privacy. So for all of you that like to have or don't mind having 0 lot lines, is it because that you don't want to have to do the yard work? And I totally get that too. Or maybe you just want, a smaller house. You don't mind. You don't want to have to do, a lot. Now, I do want to downsize. That is my #1 goal whenever we move. But I don't want to downsize in the way of land. So that may be a little hard to find, especially in the mountains. But I like to have some space. I don't want to know what my neighbors are doing. I don't want to hear their conversations. Now, when I was single after my divorce, I had moved into this really large house with the kids. At first, I moved into an apartment, and then we stayed there until the lease expired, which was 6 months. And then, because I knew I wasn't going to stay there, then we wanted to rent a house. We rented this really creepy house. I was there for 3 months, and the kids were freaked out. We almost had a break-in if it wasn't for our collie at the time, Gracie, and Zoe was there too. They were barking, and they had their teeth was snarled, and so whoever it was ran off. After that, that was the end of it for me. I'm like, this house is creepy. We heard weird noises. The kids would not go upstairs into their rooms. We all were just downstairs. I'm like, why am I paying all this money for this house? And we're scared of it. So, and it was just, I don't know, just weird things. So anyway, we ended up the company that we were renting from, I told them all the problems we were having, and I said, you know, you guys did not tell me this, 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 and this. And so they said, well, I'll tell you what, you can move into another one of our properties, and we will even pay for your move. We will not charge you a deposit on that house because you have one on this one. But you'll have to, it has to be one that, you know, that they were actually leasing. So they only had one in the area that I wanted. And I thought, okay, fine, to get into and stay in the area that we are used to, I will take this house. It was on a 0 lot line, but it was on a corner lot, and there was not anybody on one side. And on the other side, it was somebody that was behind us, but there was a street, so we weren't right on top of the neighbor. And then there was a neighbor across from us. And so I went ahead and rented that one, and I loved that little house. It was small. It was the smallest house I've ever lived in, and I absolutely loved it. And it was almost too small, the kids said, but for me, I thought it was absolutely perfect. But they also did the front yard. It was HOA. HOA handled that. So that was nice too. And I think a lot of people moved in there because of the location, because some of the homes were not, it wasn't all rentals. And the location was ideal. They did not spend their weekends working on the yard. They also had access to the community pool. And so, you know, it worked out. But I don't know if I would want to do that if my neighbor was that close. So it wasn't that bad there. Nobody ever bothered us. And I wouldn't mind it so much, I guess, but my husband loves to do things out in the yard. He likes to have a work shed area. And so that would definitely not work for him. We love sitting outside. And I don't want to sit outside. My neighbors hear what we're talking about, or they see, you know, we're eating dinner and they see us what we're eating and different things. I'm like, that's just kind of, I don't know. I don't like that. That's just me. But if it got to the point where we couldn't do yard work, then that might be something to think about. And a lot of the newer homes, the houses, you can almost reach out a window and touch your neighbor. So we're not into moving into a new house. And we'll know in the next couple of weeks what's going on with the company that he works for. We will know what is going to happen, or potentially there's a few options that we're kind of seeing what is going to happen. And then if we decide to move, it's not going to be anything in a hurry. I want to make sure it is a house that we are never going to leave. And my husband's already decided that in the next 6 years or so, he wants to go part-time at work, or if he gets a position that he's hoping will open up and he will move into that position, then he said he would stay there longer. But if it's what he's doing now, then he's going to stay for another 6 years or so and then retire. Let's see. There's another one there. Normally it doesn't take me this long when I am doing a lot of different colors, but I'm trying to stay in this one section here, and so that's what's making it where I'm changing out colors a lot. I am usually much faster. As far as books, I have actually listened to 2 books over the past week. Both of them went really quickly. I love the J.D. Robb in Death series, and I've been listening to those for years. I am up to, I think it's number 46 that I have just finished. It was Internship in Death, and that one went really fast. And then I finished Brotherhood in Death. That was the one before that one. So I'm kind of hooked on that series right now. I'm also able to get those very easily from our library, which is super nice because I don't want to use all my credits from Audible. I am trying to decide what I want to listen to next. So I will need to figure that out pretty soon before I go to diamond paint this afternoon. And reading, I have been struggling with a book that I got from Book of the Month, and it's called The Wives, and I thought, well, this will be really good because it takes place in Columbus, Georgia, and I don't know that area, but I've been there. Things that they say, they're talking about different cities, such as Savannah. That was really cool. But I am about only 100 pages in, and I am struggling on that one. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I'm trying to get through some of my Book of the Month so I can give those, because they're hardbacks, I can give those to our library at work and also make room on my bookshelf. But I don't know if I can get through this one. I'm hoping that I can. I don't want to not finish it. And I've heard so many mixed reviews. Some people really like it. Some say that they were on the struggle bus trying to get into it. They said that about middle ways it starts to get better. And hopefully it will. And I will be able to get that one finished. I'm a little behind on my book reading this year. And I count audiobooks as books completed. I know a lot of people don't. They say that's cheating, but I think that it's fine. That's one way that I can get through books and also diamond paint. But I do like to read actual physical books along with my Kindle and then listen to certain books as well. I don't know if I'm going to go back to another In Death so I can get caught up on that series, or if I want to do something different. I do have other series that I started reading, and then I thought I'm going to take a break and go to this one. I don't like to read a series straight through. I know that a lot of people do, and I get tired of it. I like to have a break, do something else. Just like diamond painting, I get tired of rounds, go to squares, get tired of certain colors, go to another one. I guess I do that on a lot of things now that I think about it. It's probably why a lot of my kids' albums are not completed. I have gone way over, guys. I do apologize for that. Apparently I had more to say today than I thought I did. But I wanted to show you all that I've gotten done so far on this canvas. Have a long way to go, but got this a little bit of this done today. But I'm just going to move this over just a little bit. I don't want to move the camera, but look how pretty that this is. And this is a coral that is on the bottom of the ocean in this canvas. But look how pretty. I just love these colors. And if I turn this off, look at that shine and shimmer. And I haven't really done that much. This is just the first row. I still have all of this to go on this row. But if you look over at how gorgeous these colors are, and this is a round, so I can just imagine how pretty that this would be if it were a square. But I do have quite a ways before I even get up to the mermaid. I usually start on the bottom, which is what I did on this one. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did and you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I think that you would like it here. Also, please click on the like button before you leave, as well as that notification bell, so you are alerted of any future uploads. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.